I've gone through an existential crisis about everything really, and obviously when you have health issues, you know that there is something going on that isn't just the health issues, that you're ill at ease with your body, and you're ill at ease with what you're doing. And some of the worst symptoms came up when I wasn't doing things I was enjoying doing, like that's why I didn't do horoscopes this year, because I thought, shall I do them? And I sat down to do them, and I just had this awful just fatigue. I can't do this, I'm done with it. So they're out. And now even the predictive stuff as well, and this is the thing, is that a lot of people have been asking me about Elon Musk, and I haven't really caught up the news because what I've been doing is more creative stuff and keeping away from it. But what I have been watching is what's his name? McCoskey, something, Howdy McCoskey. And I've always been interested in the Gnostics, always, the Cathars. It's been something that's always been a big pull, and because of the Catholic background, but I knew there was something obviously very wrong with the Catholic Church. So the more I get into the Cathars, I just think the more they really bloody make sense, and I can see why they were persecuted. And the same with the Knights Templar. Apparently, because I wasn't sure about what they really were, they're not the same as the Knights of Malta. They're not the same as the Knights Hospitaller. Yeah, the Knights Templar. He thinks that the whole Cathars and the Knights Templar massacre on the Friday the 13th were around the same time. It's just that they're making out that it's not, because a lot of history is lies. So it is so cold today. My hand, I should have wear gloves, but I can't hold the phone properly. But now I've got to figure out where astrology fits into all this, because if anyone's watched Westworld, and I was such a big fan of that, but then it went, I think I watched the first 2 series, and then the 3rd series was just so crap, as it always is. when they get somewhere with something that shows you what's going on, then they make it shit again, so that it never.
Don't go into the person.
Oh dear.
Bike fell over.
See, these are the things that happen, I guess. What was I even saying? Yes, that things go shit with good series. And but yeah, so basically I was thinking, well, our charts, this is what I've come to the conclusion, is that I don't like, as I've said this for a long time, I don't like the whole fear generated by astrology, by things like Saturn transits and, oh my god, I got a Pluto transit. I mean, I'm going to have the big Pluto through Aquarius, so I've got to kind of find a positive way to transmute that. So that's one thing. But yeah, so I thought, well, I think our charts are, the role that we've been cast. It's our kind of, it's our script, and it's our character. It's a kind of rundown of all our characters' possibilities, but it's not endless. It's not like we can transmute it and be anyone, which is a bit, I know it's like, oh my god, it means that we are very restricted, that we can't just be anything we want to be, and all that is just new age crap, really. It's like, you can mold your life to however you want it to be, but I don't see anyone doing that. I think we do. There are restrictions. Like you have the free will as far as your character goes, but if your character, is Tony Soprano, say, if that's your chart, you're not going to be Osho. It's not going to go from Tony Soprano to Osho. You just can't. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, that's my thinking about it now. So then it's like, well, what is the point of doing readings then? Do people really just want to know what they've been assigned, what their character assignment is? Well, Well, I mean, I've always said this, and my daughter actually said, before I even said it, she said, oh, so our charts are like a default then? And I said, yeah, that's exactly it. They are, the character we've been assigned, and it goes into default mode, but we can tinker around with it, but there's only so many options, so say you've got, I don't know, Saturn square Mars in your chart, but then you've also got Jupiter trine Venus. You can tweak around and just, do one or the other, I suppose, or, experience. It's experiences as well. It describes experiences. So it is interesting because this is a very complex westworld. It is a very complex stage. It is a very complex play. And, it has... I mean, I don't know if it is a simulacra, and there's a real world out there that when you go to the real world, you realise how flat this one is, that it's not, that it's not as 3D as we think it is. When you go to other dimensions, it's like, oh, wow. It's, when you see a sunset and you get this kind of heightened awareness, and everything feels like you're on drugs, even if you're not, or even if you are, even if you've had a glass of wine. You get that kind of feeling of what it might be in the real world, and this is fast becoming more digital and digital. It's becoming more and more flat. So anyway, I'm trying to figure it out, and that's what I say as well. Going back to Elon Musk, he is a player. And I know everyone will say, oh, this is really great, we've got a free speech platform. But don't you think it's kind of like things were just getting a bit flat and boring, and too many people were saying, oh, this is just a joke, this is clown world. It's definitely weighted too much towards the left side of things. And and it wasn't season whatever this is, the season that we're on at the moment, it was starting to fall a bit flat, and people were just losing interest. So, first they tried to bring Trump back, but he seems a bit flat as well now. And so I think Elon Musk is the new, he's the new kind of Trump. He's the new hero, but he's also a transhumanist. So, this is an interesting character to figure out. But I don't want to spend too much time trying to figure him out, because I just think, I would rather be doing my abstract paintings. That's what I'm really into at the moment. So is it worth kind of trying to figure out if Elon Musk is the saviour, if it's a good thing, if it's a bad thing? I don't know if it is, if I feel like it, I might do. But I think I'd rather just go out every morning, because every morning I'm trying to do this, get sun in your eyes early, even if it's bloody cold. So maybe that's just something that's more interesting for YouTube than just doing the moons, because I've got the moons already on the website, and I just feel like I'm repeating them. And I know people like them, but they're really not getting that much views. And if they're going to get the same amount of views as me just walking in the park, well, I'd rather just do me walking in the park, because I enjoy it more, and it's outside, and it's not in front of the bloody computer. So I do enough in front of the computer. Hello, birdie. Hello. So I think this is maybe a bit more interesting. I'm trying to figure out this. Now, if you don't know about this concept of the Gnosticism, this is something I've always thought as well. These are things that I've always thought, was that the Old Testament did not bloody make sense at all. I got the St. James's Bible. I thought the Old Testament is just a load of ridiculous stuff, and God in it is just not nice. So he's the demiurge, he's the evil God. And then, I always said I liked Jesus as a character. He was a good guy in the character. But they say that there's even two Jesuses, and John the Baptist is a dodgy one, and we shouldn't do baptism by water, it should be by fire. So there's all this stuff, which is, it's just fascinating, because all of it just resonates so well with me. And I always thought about the cross as well. I mean, I do have crucifixes around, but I just wonder as well. I mean, I think of it as the cross of the year, the seasons. And that's why astrology is still very important, by the way. Very important. That's why I got so into the seasons, because, you know, these are all the archetypes, and everything revolves around these things. That's how you understand characters and planets and everything. Even like all the aspects I write, you know, like Venus trine Jupiter, you know, they have an essence, and they resonate with certain times of the year and certain archetypes. And, you know, it's really important to know. I'm not going to go that way because it's noisy. There's the buses. It's very important to know these, to understand the psychology of these characters, because it is the hero's journey. These characters appear again and again and again. You get them in tarot cards, you know, you get them in numerology. You get them in the Bible, you get all the gods, you know, it's all there. These are the cast of characters, and we are assigned these roles. And I mean, I don't know whether they pick certain souls like, oh, you're very suited to playing Tony Soprano, or I'm watching that at the moment, that's why I'm obsessed with him. But yeah, you're very suited to playing him, and you're very suited to playing a mad genius like Elon Musk. You know, you're very Uranian anyway, your soul is. But the ultimate aim is to get off this freaking wheel of reincarnation. Oh, and another book I'm reading at the moment, highly recommended. It's actually quite hilarious. I wish I could read some bits out of it. Is Jed McKenna. Enlightenment, it's the damnedest thing. And there's three in the series. And it's so no bullshit about enlightenment. It's just basically, you know, getting the truth. And when you wake up to the truth, it's really bloody awful. Because, you know, I used to like to pray. I used to hope that there was some, you know, higher being up there that would answer your prayers. And, you know, it's like having your dad or somebody, especially if you haven't got a dad or anyone that you can really rely on. It's nice to think there is a spiritual guide up there. And I don't know, you know, are there really? Or is the spiritual guide this little squeal, you know? Oh, there's two. Oh, cute. I don't know if you can see them. You know, nature is our guide, isn't it? You know, I get loads of inspiration. You're right. From them. And being in nature and lying against a tree. The nature spirits, they do, you know, they don't have evilness. There is the spark of the original proper God, who is somewhere, well, God, I don't know, whatever it is, the ultimate, the super creator, not the fake demiurge God. But how do we know every time we pray which God are we praying to? Are we praying to some freaking fake demon demiurge pretend God, or are we praying to the real deal? I mean, it's, you know, and everybody says that their God is the real one. So then you just think, I just can't be asked to figure it out. I'm just going to trust what I can trust, which is nature, which is animals. Animals don't have, you know, a weird agenda. You know, they're not possessed. They are just going about their natural business. And nature, everything to do with nature is a natural business, and the seasons. So, you know, astrology can help us tune into these seasons and these cycles. But the cycles in the end, you know, they're cycles. You just keep going around and around and around and around. And I don't know. But I mean, if I knew all the bloody answers, I wouldn't be here. And nobody does. We're all just trying to figure it out. So, yeah, my channel is probably going to be just figuring out these things. But I know I keep chopping and changing what I'm supposed to do because I'm confused. I'm bloody confused. And you know, at the end of the day, YouTube has always been for me an outlet and a sort of community where I can kind of mull things over. And in the beginning, yes, it was like astrology because, you know, that's what got the traffic, but it's really not doing that anymore. And there's so many other people doing it. And that, you know, when somebody like Pam Gregory gets 1 million, I don't know what she gets, but like 37,000 for each moon, you know, what's the point of my stuff, really? When, I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like, you know, I've got if you want the moons, I've got the moons. It's not like I don't have them. I've done a whole book on them that you can use as a journal. And another thing as well that I really am pleased about, I was going to say this too, was that I found a way to make my ebooks hard copy on KDP on Amazon. And I know it's Amazon, what can I do? You know, you have to work within this. Oh, and that's another thing. Yeah, so I've made them hard copy. Before I jump onto the next subject, the hard copy is great because I just thought I want to get people off computers. I don't like the fact that I'm always sending people to my website and then they're still online. I mean, I know YouTube is good because you can listen to it while doing other things. You know, you don't have to be glued to the set. But which one I like it. That's why I like it. But with the moon phases thing, I've put a little space in there that you can sit down again. Getting cold, getting tired. Post-COVID, yeah. Yeah. So the books. It's nice to have a hard copy that there's somewhere in the world where there's my writing that it's there. It's not going to just disappear if there's a power cut. And, you know, someone will have a hard copy of it somewhere. And, you know, and I'm an illustrator and I have always done editorial stuff. So I can make books and I can make them look pretty and have a hard copy of them. So next year I hope to do diaries, you know, with all the aspects. And, you know, because then you're tracking things. You're tracking things and you're noticing, you're noticing cycles, you're noticing repeat things. But I don't want people to be anal about it as well. Like, you know, looking at every single moon aspect every day. I mean, that's not what I want people to do either. But I want to sort of do journals so that you can kind of, you know, just write down your thoughts and do poetry. And that's a good thing because it's helping people become creative and come off their computers, which is what I want to do ultimately. So with those books, it can do that. Those squirrels are still, oh, look at them, they're going crazy. Having an outlet for creativity, that leads kind of nicely on to, I did a couple of abstracts because I'm illustrating the moons. Now that I've done them all, I can just sort of illustrate them now and have time to do that. And I just started doing abstracts and I love them. I love doing them. I mean, it's only a beginning, but the first one was actually not bad. They're digital paint. I mean, I haven't got the space or the money to start buying big canvases, but maybe one day I will. But I'll start off with these. And it made me feel so happy and it really energized me. So I thought, well, that's it. You know, I need to have time in my week that I can do paintings and have something that is just that I enjoy. That's it really. And thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.